Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight at 5:30. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz and we're starting in the Weather Center. I'm here with meteorologist Corellis Ortiz because we can hear the rain from here. I hear it hitting the ceiling. My alerts have been going off on the THV app. What's going on?
Yeah, you hear that thunder rolling right now.
Oh yeah, we saw some trees blowing. I mean, I'm sure everyone else has seen it too.
So we've been dealing with a good portion of our day with some strong to severe storms across the states. Moving from the north, reaching us here in central portions of the state, making its way southward as the evening progresses.
We're still in that watch right now though, right?
Yeah, so we are under a severe thunderstorm watch. That's in effect for different areas at different times. So for portions of us here, central and east, at least until the 6 o'clock hour, and then in areas further to our south and west around the 9 o'clock hour as those storms again progress to our south. Here's a live look at what's going on at the radar. You have a better idea where some of these storms are located. It's mainly a segment, a line of storms making its way across central portions, making its exit from the metro, moving towards the south and east. And then we also have a few clusters, a few cells to our west, just outside of the Tulsa market there. So just a little bit of a closer look. Some severe thunderstorm warnings are still in place at least until 6 o'clock this evening as they make their way out towards the south and east. We've had tons of some storm reports, either anything from large hail to damaging winds. I've had several reports of trees down on some roads, as well as even some flooding. Here's some of the high wind gusts that we saw reported with some of these storms. 55 mile per hour here at Little Rock Adams Field there. We've also had wind gusts near the river valley around that 50 mile per hour range. So we're going to continue to see these storms roll through as the evening progresses, tapering off as we go into the overnight hours for most of us. So a full look at what to expect as we go into the new week is coming up.
All right, thanks, Corellis. Now, for the past few weeks, we've been covering the latest reactions to those leaked Supreme Court documents that signal a possible reversal of Roe v. Wade. Hundreds of activists rallied at the Arkansas state capitol yesterday, and dozens continued that today, all pushing for continued abortion rights. If the Supreme Court does decide to overturn that landmark case, Arkansas already has a trigger law in place that would nearly ban abortions across the state. That would be except in the instance of saving a mother's life. In that case, Attorney General Leslie Rutledge says that anyone performing an abortion with the state would face criminal charges. Now, that is only if it does get overturned. Ralliers today are hoping the courts will instead uphold abortion access on a national scale.
Put yourself in my shoes. What if your choice was taken away? What if you didn't believe what you did and you were just another individual that, had your rights taken? How would you feel? Or what would your argument be then?
Arkansas's bordering states have similar trigger laws, which means if Roe is overturned, the closest access to abortion health care would be Illinois. Residents of Buffalo, New York are mourning and searching for answers the day after a mass shooting left 10 people dead and 3 injured at a supermarket in a predominantly black neighborhood. Kevin Riccone is in Buffalo with the latest.
This is not open season on African Americans.
In Buffalo, there's grief and anger the day after a mass shooting left 10 dead and 3 injured.
The message that should be sent is we won't tolerate this.
Angry, upset, heartbroken.
Jerome Bridges says he was working in aisle 14 at the Tops Friendly Market when a gunman wearing armor and military-style clothing opened fire.
I started running, and then he stopped firing for a minute, reloaded, and started firing again.
Police say it took less than 2 minutes for officers to arrive and force the gunman, who was live streaming the rampage, to surrender.
This individual came here with the expressed purpose of taking as many black lives as he possibly could.
According to police, 11 of the 13 victims were black.
The evidence that we have uncovered so far makes no mistake that this is an absolute racist hate crime.
Dion Elliott lost his brother. He was at the store buying a cake for his son's birthday.
And now I have no brother. He's got no father. Is that fair?
This community lost an 86-year-old mother of a retired fire commissioner. They also lost the life of a police officer who was retired working as a security guard.
I can't say enough about our retired fellow colleague, Aaron Salter, who confronted this individual to save the lives of others. and may he rest in peace.
The suspect is in custody on suicide watch after pleading not guilty to a murder charge. Police say so far the investigation shows he acted alone. Kevin Rincon, CBS News, Buffalo, New York.
The FBI has set up a tip line for anyone who has more video or information relevant to the mass shooting. And from the U.S. Capitol today, President Biden also addressed that shooting, sharing empathy with the families who lost loved ones. The president also led the 41st National Peace Officer Memorial Service on the west front of the U.S. Capitol. And that's where he said policing is, quote, as hard as ever and vowed to reform.
We're waking up to the notion that unless we change the environment in which the job can be done, we're going to have trouble having enough women and men come forward to want to do the job.
During his speech, he also addressed the toll the coronavirus has taken on law enforcement. Also in tribute to Peace Officers Memorial Day today, flags at the Arkansas State Capitol are flying at half staff. The lowered state flag signals the start of National Police Week here in Arkansas, and that's honored through next Sunday. The week honors the service and sacrifice of officers killed in the line of duty. American flags were also lowered this past week under orders from President Biden. That was in remembrance of the 1 million American lives lost to COVID-19. Both state and American flags will return to full staff at sunset tomorrow. And before we saw that downpour begin today, downtown Little Rock's Pocket Park was transformed into a family art space. Treehouse Creations hosted a Painting in the Park event this afternoon where young artists and their families spent the day eating snacks, listening to music, and all while painting some of their favorite characters. After a few summers inside, families have something new to enjoy.
I like to get them outside and, play around, get some excitement in their life. You don't want to just be stuck in the house. So I brought what I love to do, and that's paint and doing art, period.
Treehouse Creations hopes to provide more events for Central Arkansas kid creatives in the future. And a Little Rock urban farm was the site today for an event that provides work and resources to unsheltered Arkansans. The Van and Field Hands 5 partnered to host the Field Hands 2 event. Attendees gathered for the fundraiser that included live music, food from grilling, and fellowship for a common purpose of helping those in need. Funds from today's event go towards providing day laborers salaries for the group's urban farm. And before that weather moved in this afternoon, fans of house music, you could hear that going, and great food, were living it up at the Parks Hill Sunday Fill Up. Gibbs Disco and the filling station over in North Little Rock partnered to bring club music out of the club and into the daylight hours for families to enjoy. Area food trucks supplied the food to go with those great vibes. Organizers say you can look forward to more events like this one in the fall when the temperatures cool down a little bit. All right, still ahead, you've probably seen photos from the app New Profile Pic on your social media, but some people are claiming the popular app could be sharing your personal data with Russia. We'll verify the facts. Plus, Corrales?
Well, we're continuing to see some of those storms roll on through across the natural state this evening. We'll have the latest details and when we can see them come to an end and what's in store for the rest of the forecast going into the beginning of the week coming up.